Alright, welcome to another video lecture on zombie survival. We're talking about shotgun ammunition types because the shotgun, I would say, is very well known by people who even aren't into shooting. And probably one of the more abundant firearms out there in homes today. Excuse me, even for people who may not be a fan of shooting but want it for its home defense value. Also, the shotgun is romanticized in zombie survival. It's always in games and stories and movies. It's always a shotgun there. Excuse me. So, let's look at it. There's no shotgun video up yet. There will be one soon in the near future. Once I'm able to get someone to do camera work for me. But until then, I figured I should talk about the shotgun ammunition. Shotguns are close quarter masters, I would say. They are brutal in close quarters, pound for pound, probably one of the most powerful things out there for you. That being said, as a zombie survival tool, they're not number one. They're not as great as they're made out to be in pop culture. That'll be a video for its own. But that being said, it's still a great defensive tool to have, and in close quarters, I'd rather have that than just my bare hands. I would rather that over some other stuff as well. But if all you have is a shotgun, make use of that shotgun. It's good to have and good to use. Before we talk about the shotgun ammunition types, make sure you know what gauge your shotgun is. If it's 12 gauge, make sure you know it's a 12 gauge. Also know the length of shotgun ammunition type it uses. There's 2 3/4, 3 and 3.5 inch, I believe. If you have a 3-inch shotgun, you cannot use 3.5 inch shotgun rounds. So, if you're worried about purchasing a shotgun for zombie survival, also because you want a shotgun, they're good for home defense. That you want that. You also maybe take it to the range and shoot some slugs out of it or whatever, for fun. Having a 3.5 inch shotgun will afford you the ability to shoot pretty much all the shotgun ammunition available for your gauge, and that'll definitely help you in a zombie survival situation. Because you don't have to worry about scavenging and looking only for that 2 3/4 inch. You can look for just 12 gauge and pick it up and be confident it will fire out of your gun. That being said, let's look at the ammunition itself. There's birdshot, buckshot, and slug. We have here buckshot, slug. I personally do away with birdshot. I wouldn't turn it down if it's the only ammunition available to me and I'm out of my own. I would take it and I will use it. But I personally wouldn't trust myself or my life to birdshot against a zombie target. At close range, it could do something. I'm not going to deny that. But I feel you need to be at close range. You would need to be even for buckshot, and I personally don't like that. So I'm not going to talk about birdshot here, and I personally wouldn't recommend it. Now, beggars can't be choosers, so if that's all that's available to you and that's all you got left, take it and use it. But let's look at buckshot. Buckshot is great. Buckshot gives you bigger shot, basically, where birdshot is smaller shot, and that means it can really do some damage for you. The nice thing about shot in general, which birdshot also applies to, is you don't need to be pinpoint accurate. With bullets and slugs, even you have to aim exactly where you're trying to hit, for the most part. Accounting for bullet drop as well, and target movement and everything like that. But if you want to hit the head, you got to pretty much aim at the head and be steady and accurate with that. With shot, if you're a little bit off, it's okay. It's going to spread out, and chances are hit where you wanted to hit anyway, with just not as much of the shot. Being buckshot being bigger and heavier, one shot is pretty much all you need to hit the head to really do the damage that you need. So, with that in mind, that's what makes buckshot nice. Why is that nice? Aside from the fact that you don't have to spend as much time aiming. Well, that's really why it's nice. And the reason it's nice is because you're going to be in a stressful, panic-stricken situation. Zombies, you're going to come up against them. It's just the way it works. And it can be scary, especially for your first time. It can be panic-stricken, which it will be. If you're by yourself, it's only going to get magnified because you don't know if you're going to be overrun, if there's zombies coming up behind you, to the left of you, whatever. Even if you're with people, and in a situation where zombies all of a sudden are overrunning your position, you don't know where they're coming from because you don't have an all-encompassing view of the area. So, with that in mind, you got to really calm yourself down and get into the groove of the shot, which can be difficult. So if you have to aim dead on, you may miss, or have a higher chance of missing. With the shot, if you're a little bit to the left or the right, up or down, whatever, the shot spreading out like it does will give you a higher chance of still hitting your target, even if you technically aimed at a miss, quote unquote. So that's buckshot. Then we look at the shotgun slug, the ounce of metal, in this case copper, but the ounce of lead usually, that shotguns are famous for as well. Shotgun slugs are powerful. Shotgun slugs can shoot longer ranges than shot. You can reach out probably around 80 yards, even 80, 100 yards, if you've got the aim for it to account for bullet drop and everything. Again, I'm not a ballistics expert, but I'm saying you could probably do a shot like that with shotgun slug and still hit the target. Now, are you hitting the head of your target in the case of zombies? I'm not rightfully sure, but the slug has that type of range potential. So, heavy, big bullet, basically what a slug is. That got that range potential, it's got that knockdown power, at the cost of the need for accuracy. It's like a big bullet. If you look at the 45, the bullet head, the slug is like a big bullet head. So you're going to need to aim on that head. Like I said, if you aim at the same place that you aim with a shotgun with a buckshot, where the buckshot may give you a hit, the slug will be a miss. You need to you need to be able to hit what you're aiming at with a slug, and it can be a little stressful. Also, keep in mind, shotguns are no lightweights. They have some recoil to them, especially 12 gauges. Shotgun slugs tend to have a bit more recoil than buckshot or birdshot. So, you're going to be expecting that recoil. You're going to be in a stressful situation, maybe even panicked. Can lead to making aim a little bit harder. If it's cold, aim can be a little bit harder as well. There's a variety of factors you got to remember. I'm not saying that aiming's a bad thing. If that were the case, pistols and rifles would be useless? Well, not really. But in fact, aiming is very important, and being able to aim is a great skill to have, especially for zombie survival. But that's where shotgun slugs differ from pretty much anything else you're going to shoot out of a shotgun. The real need for aim there. So I don't want to make this lecture too long. That's pretty much the big three covered of shotgun ammunition types. The buckshot, I don't want to say it's the workhorse, but chances are, you'll, not that you're going to have more of it, but you may have more of it, for lack of a better term, or a better sentence there. Also, with the shot, you have to keep in mind your barrel length. That's going to be a factor as well. If you sawed off your shotgun a bit, the shot will spread out quicker from the edge of your barrel because you have less barrel keeping the shot tight together. So, that's pretty much it for shotgun ammunition types. there are some theories of you can like stagger your loads. You can have like one slug and then one buckshot, one slug, one buckshot, or two buckshots and a slug, two buckshot and a slug, or three, one and three, or not that much. That's a lot in tube. It all depends how much your tube can hold, which usually isn't going to be that much in comparison to like a clip for a pistol or anything like that. But let's say it's 5, you can hold 2, 1, and 2. Let's say 2 buck, 1 slug, 2 buck. In a stressful situation where you're going to be pumping out the rounds at the zombies, hopefully you're going to learn fire control and not waste your ammunition, which is another topic for a video at another time. But in a stressful situation, you may lose track. You may not be able to keep in mind what's in the chamber at this time. That's just the nature of being panicked. Also, you may not be able to be in a particular state of mind or be particularly calm and able to have extra ammunition on your side. Let's say you load up a buck, but you have slugs that you can drop in and use. Because you may be of a panic state of mind. But, it's good to have them. It's just, I wouldn't recommend relying on the ability to quickly sub out buckshot for slug or slug for buckshot in such a situation where you're going to be panicked and stressed out. But having it on hand, that way when you shoot your tube, you out of ammunition. Let's say you got some distance from you took down the close threats. You got some distance. You can load up with shotgun slugs, and potentially still use your shotgun as you're getting more and more distance to a certain point. Of course, while that is capable, and which is why you probably should carry both ammunition types, I wouldn't rely on knowing what's in the chamber if you loaded them up. Because let's say you have them in a big bag, they got loose into one big pouch or whatever, and you just grab it and put it in. I wouldn't rely on knowing what's coming out of your gun in such a panic situation where you don't know for sure what you loaded in there. Only really act accordingly. If you know 100% nothing but buckshot, use it as if nothing but buckshot's in it. If you know 100% that slugs in it, utilize it as only slugs in it. And in fact, I would make it a habit to, even with buckshot, be accurate with your aiming. That way, in case of this slug, you won't go wide and miss because you are being sloppy with your aiming. The tighter you are with your aiming, the better it'll be. So, food for thought, I guess. Anyway, this is turning into a little bit of a ramble onto this lecture. You got the points down pat. Any questions, you can leave them in comments or PM us. And remember, until the next one, have a plan and be prepared and be safe. Take care.